Now I have uh, the glove completely folded. This is the inside and this is the outside of the glove. As you can see, my tops are not cinched yet. It's just so it will help me to put one inside of the other. I also want to show you that you have two sets of thumbs, the one of the inside glove and the one of the outside glove. So the first thing that I usually do is I do the cinching of both ends. I do one at a time. I will take care of the inside glove. I have the inside glove already cinched. I did it through the knit side, not the purl side. And this is how I do my cinching. So I have my thread and I have a needle. So I will pull my thread until I close the circle, the loop, the size of my finger more or less. And then using my needle, the way that I cinch it is I take two and I skip the next two. And then I take two and I skip the next two. And I am back to my last or my first stitches. So what I usually do, I have two here, two that I skipped underneath. So I just take this one from this side and this one from this side. And now I am going to, still with my finger there, I pull the thread a little bit more. And what is happening is that we will have the two loops that I put under the thread or put the thread under are at the top, and the two that I skipped are at the bottom. So when I cinch it, I try to get all the extra thread from it. When I cinch it, what will happen is that I won't get a bulky end because half of my stitches are tucked underneath. Half are on the top and the other half are underneath. And I use this cinching for everything. I use it for my hats, I use it for my toques. I really like it this way. So when I don't have any more loose thread, I go underneath the next two sets of loops, pull once, and then look for my thread here, that one. I make a knot, a double knot, and pull. And then I go under this one more time, just to hide the knot. If you see, it's not as bulky. And now using this thread and the thread of the one that is inside of the inside glove, I will just attach this one to the one inside. And so they are all together. They are just one piece. When you went a couple of times back and forth, going through the middle and then the side, you just take both pieces of thread and you are going to disappear them in between the two layers. So I am going underneath this gray layer and just making sure that it's not coming through the other one. And you go down and you pull, you disappear it, and you can do it again if you want. It's long enough so it won't show, but I usually disappear the whole length of it like that. There. And if you have a little tail, you can either cut it or you just pull it from the inside and you turn it. So it's cinched and the tops are attached. Now we are going to work on the thumbs. The thumbs, we are going to close them one thumb at a time. We will start with the inside one. To do that, we will work it on the knit side and then we will turn it inside out. That way all the seams will be hidden, and if they want to use the inside of the glove as well as the outside, and then it is a reversible glove. We are going to close the inside thumb. As I said, we are going to work on the knit side. What I do is I just fold the thumb in all the length, and you can work it either from the top down or the bottom to the top. I prefer from the top down because then I can close these areas while I'm wearing it, but my thumb is already inside, and it will be a better closure for this. So the way that you do this, I know that there is a specific name for this stitch. I don't know the name of it, but it becomes an invisible stitch. So I usually, what I do is I go 3 or 4 stitches before. In this case, I go like this, just taking the little loop of the bump. With this, I am just hiding the tail of my stitch, of my thread, and then this is not the best color to see, but I don't know if you notice here there is a series of V's. This is the first row of my knit. So what you do is you go underneath the first and the second V like this. You pull without pulling too hard because you don't have a knot on this side, right? And then you go to the opposite side. So you look for your first and second loops, and then you move to this side again, and first and second loop, and first and second loop. Don't worry about these loose threads. You will see in a little bit that when we pull it, it makes a very invisible seam. I really like this way of closing because you really cannot see the seam on the knit side. All the seams stay on the purl side, and you have a lot of control of how the knit side is looking like. So you just keep 1 and 2 like that, and then to go to the other side. And I left a little tail here only because when I pull this thread, I just want to make sure that this one doesn't come off. Remember that there is not, we don't have a knot there. So I will continue doing this kind of a stitch, taking 2 loops on this side, 2 loops on this side, and then we will have like a rail, or I don't know how you call that. And we will go all the way to the end. And when we get to the end, or you can do it little by little too, what you do is you pull this thread like this. And as you can see, it closes very, very nicely. This one didn't close complete there. It closes very nicely, and you have like a new set of loops on this side. So you just keep going all the way to the end. I will meet you then. Okay, I got to the end of it. When you come here, just at the end where you see these holes where we pull a little bit those stitches, you just try to grab the stitches that are parallel with each other. Now I am going to pull my thread again, like this, and then just make sure that there is not a ruffle in there, and as you can see, it's pretty invisible. Check a little bit how these are being attached. Usually what I do with that is I try to replicate a little bit the stitches to close the spaces. Let's see. Yeah, I replicate there and here and let's see. When you pull the thread, you check the bottom just to make sure that the hole at the bottom is not too big. And sometimes I try to replicate the stitch. Sometimes what I do is I will take 2 parallel stitches. It depends. No, this one is not working. There. And if I go here, I will be replicating that one. Yep. And that close it there. And this will go here. Yep. And this will go here. Sorry, it's difficult to do it. I'm seeing it on the screen, so it's kind of mirrored. But you get the idea. You just keep replicating your stitches until you get that space completely closed. And then and with this I will put one more here. There it goes. So it's completely closed now. As you can see, we have a seam inside, but we have nothing on the outside. And now we are going to do the same with the other thumb. So we start at the top, we go all the way to the bottom, we replicate the stitches to close this hole, and I will meet you at the end of this. Okay, so our inside thumb is done. I still didn't figure out how to do the round tips without making it too bulky, but even with the kind of square ends, it still works very, very good for the thumb. So as you can see, you can barely see the seams on both sides. Remember, this is the inside glove, so what I am going to do is I am going to push it, and here it is. Now we have the pearl side of the inside glove on this side. We see the seams here, but it doesn't matter because we will close this other thumb right on top, right? And both seams will stay in the inside of the glove, and the outside of the glove will be seamless. So I will do exactly the same thing that I did with the inside one, working on my knit side. I will close this end, replicate some of the stitches here to close this area that is a little bit open. I will do the same on this side, and with that our glove will be done. Okay. My first side is already closed. As you can see, it's an invisible seam. I was able to do this without looking through a screen, so it was easier to close it. And then I have my yarn back at the top. I will hide my inside thumb, and I will close this side through the knit side all the way to the bottom. Okay. And here they are. This is the inside of the glove, and this is the outside of the glove. I made, this is the one that we just made, and this is the other one, which is much smaller. I made this one for my husband, and this one is for myself, and I will show you with a picture why do I have two different sizes of one glove only. If you were doing a pair, just repeat the process for the second one. I will show you in a picture. I did a love mitt, which is I don't know how to explain it, like two gloves all together, so you can still hold hands without getting caught. And yeah, I will show you on the picture. I hope you enjoy it. If you figure out how to do the thumbs a little bit more round, please let me know, because I don't know how to do it myself.